Hi, this is Sandy, and I wanted to share with you another project that I've been working on. And these are pocket envelopes. I've made around 32, I think, for a group that my daughter-in-law's I'm part of. And so anyway, these envelope pockets then can be used to stuff goodies down inside, and then give us a little gift. And so it's a 6x6 paper, and I'm going to show you in a minute how I put them together. But one of the great things I liked about it was that I could use up some ephemera that I got from different collections and everything, because I always end up, I take some online classes, and so I get a collection or parts of a collection anyway for the classes. But then when it's done, I always have leftover things. And a lot of it is leftover ephemera, whether it's stickers or die cuts or chipboard, those types of things. So this was a great project for being able to use some of those things. Some of them are pretty simple in the way that I decorated them. And then some I got a little bit more carried away with what I used. But it basically was just using some things that I had. Lots of different colors and papers. And I'm not going to take time to show you all of them because that would take a while. But anyway, I had a friend ask if I would show how I made these envelope pockets. And so I'm going to shove these out of the way and show you how I put them together. It's pretty simple. It's a 6x6 piece of paper. And then I just measured to the center of it. So 3 inches. And then 3 inches the other direction until I was there. And when I figured out what the center was, then I just put a little dot in the center so that I could tell where that was at. And then if you have directional paper, you're gonna want to pay attention to that, but this is not directional paper. So then I just folded the sides to that dot. And then the bottom, I decided to fold up a little further than that. You could decide how much you want to fold up on the bottom, but I decided to fold it up just a little further than that. And use a bone folder to... Now sometimes I found the way I folded, I had a little bit sticking over the side, so after I had it all glued, then I just kind of trimmed that off a little bit. But then I just glued along the inside. A little bit of glue. And folded it over. And that's how simple it was to make the pocket itself. Then I decided I would put a band on it. And so the band was 9.5 inches. And I had this paper in this collection that had these words on it. And so I just cut strips of the words so that I had a 9.5. And so this is, I think, a little less than an inch, maybe a little more than 3/4, but you could make that any of those sizes depending upon what you had. I just used this paper, so that's what dictated the size of this. And then I just took it and folded it around the envelope and then glued where that was going to be, come together. And then I just used this scallop circle and just glued it onto the front of that. So that's why you don't have to be real careful with the band or anything, is that is going to get covered up. And I just put a little bit of glue in the center. So that was the envelope. And then I just went through what I had in my collection that I could use to embellish it with. And then because I was making multiples of these, I ended up going another step, although that's really easy. I just, when I had made one, I made this template, and then I would just line this up on a 6x6 piece of paper and then just fold the sides and the bottom up so that they came out pretty uniform. But it's pretty simple to fold without the little template that I did to speed up my process. So that's how I made my pocket envelopes. And sometimes if the side's sticking up a little bit, I go ahead and put just a little bit of glue on those sides to hold them down. But that's entirely optional. You can choose to do that or not as you want to, but that's a pretty simple way to make these little envelope pockets. So thank you for watching my channel and this video.